Chefs, what is the beef? Welcome to another live video. If you give me another 5 minutes of your time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to empower you with the tools to overcome the fact that Christmas has completely derailed your life and your personal life in the past couple of weeks. I'm going to show you why that's happening and how you're going to overcome it. So the big problem that we're going to talk about as I choke on my own spit is that routines can make or break you at Christmas. Routines can make and break you in general, but especially at Christmas. For so many of you, you're at a stage right now where whatever routine you had has been thrown out the fucking window, you know, and now you're deep into the fucking shit and you're waking up early, you're going in to have to get morning prep done, you're then going into a day where it doesn't stop for 12 to 14 hours, coming home late at night, can't switch off, can't wind down, and your headspace is fucked, the adrenaline is pumping, you're not doing any exercise, you're not eating any food, probably winding down with booze. You're finding yourself slipping into a bit of a rut and a bit of a trap, as the good majority of chefs do at Christmas. The thing is, you probably don't have enough work-life balance anyway, but during this month your work-life balance is going to be so far in the fucking pit, it's not even funny, Clint, what's happening. So your work-life balance is going to be gone. You know, it wasn't there anyway, but now it's going to be gone. And as a result of all of those things, it's this feeling of not having any free time. It's this feeling of, you know, I'm not doing anything to further myself, and I'm not able to put myself first. I'm literally just putting work first because it's all hands on deck and it has to be done. Okay, fair enough, I get it. But here's the thing. In this month, and all the chefs that I coach right now, all 55 of them are having this exact same problem where the routine is thrown off. All of them were usually uber disciplined. This month there's a spanner in the works, and it's very, very difficult to maintain the level of intensity that they had before, and all of you are going to feel that same way. Your motivation to exercise is going to be very low. Your motivation to eat consistently good meals is going to be very low. Your motivation to do anything with your free time other than lying down and recovering is going to be very, very low. So with that in mind, you got to understand that if you do what you've always done and you do what you're doing right now, things are not going to get better, and we've still got a week of this shit left to go, and for some of you, you're going to have to push all the way on through to fucking New Year's, so that could be another 2 weeks. You got to understand that this is not going to change unless you make a direct effort to change it. Very, very simply put, routines make or break you. So for so many of you, you've let go of your routine, and understandably so. You know, the routine is very, very difficult to keep when you've got the shit hitting the fan, so to speak. Marty begging, Mustafa, what's going on? You find it very difficult to maintain the routine when the shit hits the fan, but understand that the discipline in keeping that routine is the only thing that's going to keep you sane. So for so many of you coming home, no, you mightn't be able to get to the gym and train your arse off. That's not at all what I'm saying. But let's say an example of a wind down routine. If you're coming home and you're drinking to fucking wind down, cool. That is a short-term solution with long-term repercussions where you're going to sleep badly, you're going to wake up with your head up your hole, and you're not going to get the rest that you need. Whereas if you were to be stringent on yourself and actually take 10 to 15 minutes to just even sit down and meditate when you got home. Sit down and meditate, have some tea, chamomile fucking tea, and not go to the drink, all of a sudden things change rapidly. Like, that's a routine that will allow you to sleep and wind down. In the morning, if you're up very early to do a morning, you know, to get your morning prep done, I understand. Maybe you're not getting to the gym, as I said. Maybe you're not running 5Ks, maybe you're not running 10Ks, but what can you do? What can you do in the morning that's going to keep your headspace clear? So if you have that nighttime routine of just taking 10 minutes to yourself and not giving into your vices, that's a huge, huge, huge step in the right direction. The other part of that then within the morning, even if you had 10 minutes before you went into work, Paul, what's happening? Stephen Maloney, how we doing? If you had 10 minutes before you went into work and you sat down, you just meditated, you know, if you literally just meditated, got that app, Headspace, and just did 5 to 10 minutes, and just even something as small as that, and then maybe if you had more than that and you had 10 or 15 minutes, walk around your block after the meditation, then go into work. And the difference there is what's going to happen is in your head, you're just creating that little bit of space for your own frame of mind. your own fucking headspace. And if you can take that time to yourself, then all of a sudden when you deploy into work, you're actually able to operate and you're able to keep your head clear and you're able to keep yourself in a positive frame of mind. Whereas if you don't ever put anything, you never put yourself first, you never do anything for yourself, and work is the only focus, work will fucking wipe the floor with you and it will fuck your head up big time, and that's the truth for so many of you. Now, the big part of this and what I like to establish for so many chefs, this is rebuild. This is step 2, the chef fit path. It's rebuild. Like, structure is everything, but the whole thing about it is, right, okay, chefs need to be exercising, they need to be following their nutrition plan, they need to be using mise en place in their free time to organize their time. But at the end of the day, if it's Christmas and you're doing a fucking 14, 16-hour day, sometimes a lot of those things can't be done. Does that mean you do nothing? Absolutely not. It means you make the workload manageable. So you change the structure. So you still have a structure in the morning routine, you still have a structure in the evening routine. It's just going to be different. Maybe a meditation and a walk is better than doing nothing. In fact, it absolutely is better than doing nothing. And it's still manageable and it's still achievable. Whereas maybe the hour or 2 gym session isn't an option some days. The other part of that is your nighttime routine. Again, you don't have to go major, but it's just like a 5 or 10 minute meditation and not giving into your vices and maybe having some fucking herbal tea instead. Those things make a massive difference, and this is what I coach guys to do, or coach guys and girls to do as chefs, it's have structure and be able to change that structure when the shit hits the fan. And if you aren't able to change that structure, then that's an all or nothing attitude. You've got to be able to roll with the punches. You've got to be able to manage your workload and fucking reduce what you're doing in your personal life to deal with what's happening in work. And then when you do have more free time at work, you can increase the amount of stuff you're doing in your personal life. They go hand in hand, but you got to consolidate one or the other. With that in mind, chefs, what I want you to do from here, right? Leave me a comment and just let me know what the last 2 weeks have been like for you. What hours have you been doing? What is the stress levels like, and how has your routine been affected as a result? I'll be interested in hearing from you. Hope you are all keeping safe. I hope this month's not taking too much out of you. You've only got fucking 7 or 8 more days until we're through it. So chefs, fucking big shout out from me to you. I know you guys don't get anywhere near the level of appreciation that you should from people in this industry and people who eat in the restaurants. People don't know what happens on the other side of the pass. So again, give yourself a fucking pat on the back, but also try and put yourself first and do the small things as I've said here, because those things are what's going to keep your head clear and stop you from slipping into the pit. That in mind, chefs, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I'll chat to you all soon. Peace.